Oh my God. Take 5. All right. I'll find out quickly if this works. I'm going to rapidly open up YouTube, and they said if I change my browser, the audio won't make that dumb noise anymore. So let me see. All right. I'm going to try this one more time. All right. So, here we go. Present, share screen. If this doesn't work, then I'm going to have to wait till tomorrow and try something else out. I'm hoping this works. Oops.
Actually, that's, do I break my celibacy if I caught a BJ since I've been here? See, I'm not a big fan of saying my attitude or demeanor about things is correlated to getting laid. Because for the most part, I am trying to live celibate, but new guy in town, guy like me, I'm going to have it thrown at me a little bit. Like, people treat me, I get treated like a presence around here everywhere I go. And I'm not saying it's me. We were talking about it on memberships. Like, something is happening to me that's not under my power. The way people in life, the way people on the bus and coming here in different places, the way people receive me compared to previous in my life. Even in the bus station in Denver, this black guitarist guy will not stop questioning me once he saw like my Akira vest and he saw the animal rights patch and shit. He just starts talking to me about the assassination, talking to me all kinds of stuff. Before he went to his bus, he's like, "You got an Instagram, bro?" I was like, "No, I got a YouTube channel. I'm not really all kinds of reachable." And that's okay. But yes, I've caught a blowjob since I got here. And I showed that girl how to do XRP wallets.
Will's getting the blowjob. Like, I'll write down the notes.
But in that interaction, I got her hooked up with a wallet and showed her how to do it and stuff.
So I don't know if the audio is fine or not. So it's not popping up here on my phone yet, my live stream. So I can't really test it. So I'm just going to continue as if it is fixed. And if not, it's just going to be a wasted stream again. I literally did not click on any of that. I already deleted that one. Okay. I don't know why it stays there after I deleted it. All right. So trying to find my playlists again. Things are so clusterfucked. There it is. Playlist. Watch later.
And that's okay. But yes, I've caught a blow.
Okay. So, here we go. This is what I was trying to play.
Enlisted is the free, brand new online World War II shooter. Command a squad of soldiers and participate in legendary battles of the Second World War. Right now, you can join the invasion of...
Oh my God. This Matt Gates story, I know it's like 2 weeks old. It is so crazy, bro.
What are you talking about?
It is so this woman named Crazy
Eyes Killer.
No, Crazy Cat Lady. Like, put in, like, go to Twitter, put in Mel Crazy Internet Lady.
Are you talking about Scary Spice?
No, I'm talking about this chick. Put in Matt Gates story Twitter. Matt Gates. See if you, dude. Are you on Google? Or are you on?
You goddamn fucking idiot, Ryan.
Now you went to Yandex. We don't get T-shirts from Yandex.
Ryan, fill the grooves with concrete. We're moving to a new road.
Yeah, dude.
Holy shit.
Matt Gates,
man.
Mel, Twitter. Yeah. It's absolutely nuts, dude. And so I was talking about it. Like, have you heard the whole story about it, dude?
I'm waiting.
I mean, dude, this story about Mel.
I mean, the kid over here is just,
What came up?
He's under duress right now. I feel bad for calling him a goddamn fucking idiot.
Yeah, I don't think I'm. I need Venice AI is
The best. Okay.
Spectacular.
Just go to
The
Yandex.
best.
Do what you gotta do. Venice
best.
AI is the best.
Yeah, and we'll work on this in a little bit. I know that the fans have been telling us to stay on topic, and they're 100% right. But while Ryan's Googling,
Yeah. So basically she does the story, right? And she breaks it out. Candace Owens went over this chick's thread. But so basically what's happens is this guy is in Florida, right? And he is a tax collector. He's a county tax collector.
this is where all the nasty things go down in Florida.
His name is, just see if you can find it. It goes by Mel, the crazy cat, crazy internet lady, you know.
Okay.
So this guy named Greenberg, he is running the
Catholic?
what? He's a Catholic. Yeah, he's a Catholic. So he's in charge. There's a ton of corruption with this guy, right? So this high school teacher decides he's going to run against him.
Right.
Well, with all the advantages Greenberg has, he's already in office. He has money. He has all this stuff.
Okay.
It's really crazy. It's way closer than anyone thought it would be.
Ryan, what do you what
Searching Mal crazy.
you're pulling? Yeah, I just saw a GIF of a woman's blowing something.
Yeah. MEL, put in Matt Gates.
All right. This is
Anyways.
I'm about ready to throw this dead horse off a cliff.
No, okay, so let me get it. We won't even look. You found it. You found it. Bro, this thing is so nuts.
Okay.
So this guy's Greenberg. He's county tax collector,
Sure.
right? He go down this. So
Look at
it
this
goes down.
shining
This guy
boy.
decides he's a rich kid, Seminole County, and this guy decides to run against him. This high school player. Well, this high school teacher. It's way closer than anybody thought it was going to be. Greenberg is pissed, so he starts running like a character assassination campaign.
Sure.
He starts making fake bots and all this stuff to comment on everything.
Sure.
So fast forward, he freaks out, and this Greenberg writes handwritten letters to the school saying that this teacher had done weird stuff to these kids, right? So of course what the school does is like, oh, we got to tell the cops that. They take the letters to the cops run DNA and fingerprints on it. They find fingerprints. It's Greenberg.
Whoa, is this a Spider-Man meme?
Dude, it's Greenberg. So Greenberg, they go to Greenberg's house. They charge him with, like, I forget what the crime is. So anyways, they go on. Look at this. They go on his computer, right? And he finds every crime: embezzlement, drugs, prostitution, identity theft, wire fraud, right? Well, they discovered that he was using a county card to go on the Sugar Daddy website, and he hooked up with a 17-year-old.
Okay.
Okay, who had lied about her age. Well, the county The county, look at that, 70 grand he spent on hookers. From the county.
That's too much.
That's too well, dude. That's just too much money. These chicks think their woo-woos are like way too. You're super inflated.
Well, actually, prostitution is rather cheap. So
what would you pay for quality woo-woo?
Quality woo-woo. Well, when I was in Las Vegas for my bachelor party, there were these two strippers that approached me and they said that they'd have a threesome with me for like $500. And I was like, you guys have to charge so much more money.
Yeah,
than
that's we're gonna rob you. That's
I
what
think
that is.
so too.
That was
Yeah.
it. They were like, hey, dude, for $500, we'll rob you.
I was like, why would you only charge
Why would you say- well, because
$500?
I mean, in Vegas, there's so much woo-woo on sale.
Oh my
Well, anyways.
gosh. The point being, if you're gonna prostitution's not that cheap. So if you rack up a $70,000 bill, you're a bit of a fucking hedonist.
You go down.
finally figured
so
out
what
how to
happens
do
is
it.
this guy finds out this
1 million
17-year-old
guys.
is underage, obviously. So he's in the office of county tax collector is also in charge of making driver
And I paid
IDs and state
$500
IDs.
for this
So he
laptop.
makes a fake ID for the 17-year-old to make her legal, right?
Oh,
Here's every day, but
brilliant.
I'm glad it worked.
Brilliant.
So somehow, some point, he meets up with Matt Gates, right?
Okay.
He somehow meets up with Matt Gates. I don't know. Anyways, they start running and gutting.
Yeah. Yeah.
This chick hooks up with Matt Gates.
When you go,
She has-
he hooked up with Matt Gates. I don't know. What do you mean you don't know?
But I mean, they're hookers. So anyways,
It's like me running into a Magic the Gathering player in the grocery store. Like we're gonna be fast friends. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? We're into the
in
same
it to win it.
things. Yeah.
so anyways, Matt Gates ends up hooking up with this chick, but she has a fake ID that says she's 18. Fast forward, the government is going after Greenberg. Greenberg goes to Bill Barr and goes, hey, I have evidence that a sitting senator, congressman, whatever he is, has been hooking up with a minor.
Wow.
Right? So Bill Barr decides to do an undercover declassified investigation into this. Go down. So this is where it gets really crazy, okay?
If a man really hated ads, here's what he would do. Day one, he would install Pi on his computer without spending a dime.
Tucker,
This guy Greenberg is in a bit of a
go up.
Quite a hole.
So opens a secret investigation into it. So this is where now part two, go down to part two. The man in Iran, okay? So what happens is the CIA, this is how crazy it gets. The CIA is running a covert operations in Iran. They have this guy go down and says his name. Keep going down. Okay, right here. Involved in 25 million extortion threats against his father to help free an American hostage in Iran. Dude, how crazy is that?
Well, I don't understand what you're saying.
Okay, so
How does
following the
Iran-
Tucker opening monologue, he introduced Matt Gates and gave him a free reign to tell a story. Anyone watching is unlikely to soon forget this bizarre story. So basically what happens is somebody finds out that somebody from Florida knows that Matt Gates is basically compromised at this point. So this guy from this law firm approaches Matt Gates' dad, who's super rich, and is like, we'll get Biden to basically give you what he just gave Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
What's that called?
Pardon.
He'll pardon you for this if you guys agree to put up the $25 million to get this hostage out. So go down. All right. This is the lawyer that approaches him. This lawyer approaches him about, hey, man, give us the cash and help us get this guy out.
Who is this guy?
Go down.
Because
So-
it seems like it would just be official.
You got to hit the show replies because for some reason it just stops. There we go. So keep going down.
Bob Levinson was the man.
Yeah,
in
Bob
Iran.
Levinson. That's the
official
guy.
story about Bob Levinson was he was a retired FBI agent who was contracted by a semi-off-the-book CIA unit to run a covert op in Iran. He was kidnapped from Kish Island following a meeting with an American fugitive living in Iran. that had been arranged by a former NBC producer named Ira Silverman. So Levinson gets kidnapped in March 2007. His disappearance was acknowledged by George Bush in June 2007 as concerning, but no one from the federal government will admit that Levinson was working
Go down,
for the
keep going down.
CIA.
Here it gets here. That's it.
Unbeknownst to anybody at the time, from 2009 to 2011, the FBI was running its own covert operation to get their retired agent back, and they had devised an ingenious plan to keep that whole thing off the books. They contracted with a Russian billionaire, Oleg, not going to try it, to pay for the rescue mission in exchange for a fast-tracked green card for Darius Becketfat and his family. I can't even fucking. Can you? Anyone in the comments? Can anyone make heads or tails of this whole
apart. Go
thing?
Go down. So they need money. That falls apart. They need money. So somehow, some way, it gets to Gates' dad. Gates' dad goes to the FBI and goes, listen, we're being blackmailed right now to try to get money for this thing. Can you help us? The FBI's like, yes. So then Matt Gates' dad is like, hold on. I want to make sure that this is specific to you trying to stop the blackmail and not try to take my son out. The FBI wouldn't agree to that.
Okay.
So the next day,
Yeah.
that's when the story came out in the New York Times about Matt Gates being with a mine.
And this poor bloke's still in Iran, I bet that.
He's gone. They haven't heard from him since. That's him right there.
Wow. Okay, so there's a covert hostage in the Middle East
Yeah.
that Matt Gates' dad, because he's a dark artist, finds out about.
Somehow they approach his dad.
They want his dad to put up the money.
Because they know his son is compromised.
Yeah, and because the Russian oligarch thing fell through where they were going to pay.
Got it.
It's so crazy.
What a ball of fucking snakes that is.
Right?
Wow, it's like the video knew where I wanted to stop. Yeah, what a ball of snakes that is. Okay, so directly after that is when I wanted to play this part. See if I can get it to sync up. Crossing my fingers.
Set the scene for a magical holiday with 60% off Christmas tableware at Hobby Lobby. Choose from.
We have war now, and the PR machine is just the modern day version of what's always been. Well, it's interesting. Another time to go off on the tangent, but it dovetails into what we were talking about can we continue to do the things that we've always done with the changes that are already happening and get away with it? This is your Star Trek episode. It almost sounds like the great filter, right? Yeah. That societies have to get through or they blow themselves up. Never had the ability to blow ourselves up. We've only been living here. It feels like we've lived 70 years. We have 70 years. Seems like a long time. 500 years from now, when they're writing the histories of us, what do you think they're going to classify as the really scary early years of nuclear weaponry? We categorize this from like 1945 to 1960 or something. They're going to say, oh yeah, that whole period from 45 to about 2140, that was really, really dicey, man. You know, so we're not going to be able to sense that.
Look, today I read that Twitter had 8.5 billion more videos posted per day than a year ago. I mean, and you made the point earlier, you know, we start with Caesar, a guy just going for a sail to learn to be a better orator. And now we're drinking from a fire hose. You know, the mainstream media, I was just telling Chuck earlier, in May, during one 7-day primetime period on CNN, the total number of viewers between 8 and 11 in 7 days running was 83,000.
Right. Break it down per viewer, what they're spending per viewer.
It's so not sustainable on its face. And when you start to say, well, wait, like there's this whole world where, well, let's look at MSNBC with 111,000 or Fox with 186,000. Doesn't matter. It's all tiny. It's tiny. This is over. We're watching it, Dan.
Yeah.
We're watching the collapse of one of the largest integrated, as James Burke would have said,
a legacy media system. Yeah.
We're watching it die. And billions of videos are going up every day on Twitter and TikTok. And that's where the 30-year-old is right now. That's where they're getting their history. That's where they're getting their current events. That's where they're getting everything.
Let me brag for a second, because there was one area where I saw that future ahead of time. And I want to tell you how few people could envision what appears to be obvious now. The reason I'm in podcasting today was because when the .com stuff was happening and it just made sense to start a company and sell it for some ungodly amount of money, I started a tech company with some buddies. They were in the tech business. We got together, and the podcast grew out of that because what we were working on was what we called amateur content at the time period. This is the 1990s. So there is no there's not even broadcast.com yet, right? None of this YouTube exists. No, amateur content. And my job, like all of our jobs, was to go to venture capitalists and get them to invest in this idea. So I had to explain the idea. So I had a whole pitch, right? And none of these Mark Cuban types out there could see it. Although Mark Cuban did broadcast.com at the time and sold it, but none of those people could see it. So I had to go make an example for them. I mean, so I would explain it. They couldn't see it. So I came back with a podcast. This is before they had a name. I got my big voice announcer friend who had one of the great voices. He's the guy who did all of our, and so you could hear what it would sound like, right? So I'm setting the table for you. And these guys still said to me, this is never going to happen. I said, you'll have 16-year-old kids doing content for other 16-year-olds. They said, if anybody was talented, they'd be making money at it. This is never going to happen. They're telling me this 7 years before it all became a reality, right?
Yeah.
So the point is everything you're seeing was foreseeable and could have been rerouted around or taken advantage of. Instead, the legacy, like they always do, the legacy systems go in kicking and screaming, try to defending the old way of doing things. And now you turn around and those people who could not envision how amateurs would be able to make content that other people would want to see don't understand why their investments in CNN aren't paying out when they're only getting 118,000 views or whatever. I mean, so this is sort of the fallacy about investments always seeing the future and the money always going to, it just goes, like you said, a fire hose. And if you put your money on everything on the roulette wheel, some of it pays off. But the amount of roulette wheel money that was badly spent is crazy. And so like when you look at today, what you're talking about, how my podcast can have more people, and my podcast is not even a big podcast anymore with some of the podcasts out there, but how it can have more people than CNN, just as an example, who's spending a fortune for each of those listeners. It doesn't make like where's their payoff? How are they making money off that? It's how we should look at old movies and old photographs. And there's a whole way he says you're supposed to glean information out of it. For example, with old photographs, look into the background at the stuff maybe the photographer wasn't trying to shoot, right? So with war footage, with actual combat footage, he says, look into their eyes and realize that this cameraman is capturing the most intense moment probably in this human being's life, and maybe all the human beings around them. And so you have to ask yourself, so where's the cameraman standing when they're getting these kinds of shots? And the main thing is that normally they're not standing near where the danger is, because who's going to want to do that? So a lot of the footage that Jackson was using is the kind of stuff a cameraman could shoot without endangering their own life. But there's footage, for example, from I don't remember if it's Peleliu or Tarawa in the Pacific, where there were a couple of U.S. Marine Corps photographers who were there with the troops, and they were right there. And the stuff that you can see, even though there wasn't a lot of footage to be shot, it's a whole different level of footage, right? So, so part of what we're trying to figure out here is where the camera is, what they're shooting. But I saw colorized a moment after a trench had been overrun, and the cameraman's clearly with the troops that overran the trench, and they are walking on bodies. So I don't know how stacked these bodies are, although I have read that they can't stack. This is the sort of crazy carnage like minutia people like yours truly get into, because you're wondering what an ancient battlefield is, and some of these ancient sources will say the bodies are stacked, like 12 deep, and physically I guess that can't happen. But in a trench where you've got two walls that are sort of bolstering the pile of bodies, it can get very deep indeed. And so this footage was of these, and I don't remember if it was Germans overrunning a British trench or the opposite, but they're walking on the dead bodies of the people that they just killed to take this trench. And I'm just going to tell you, had I ever walked on multiple dead bodies for a while, that's something that as you're dying on your deathbed decades later is going to come back.
Yep.
And so those are the kind of things. So when you say, did I enjoy Jackson's thing? Well, it was wonderful. But all I could think about was, oh my God, though, it gets so much worse than this.
Sure.
And if part of what you're trying to show people is the intense experience people went through, you kind of dial it up to a little bit, right?
To foster a deeper connection, to allow people to use this new media in a more human way. It's had the
But what a guy like Caesar is going to have that makes him different, and I share with you the whole loss of rhetoric skills. I would also throw in, by the way, this is a little tangent here, but the loss of humor, because when you're not speaking off the cuff, you lose the humor. So when you think of the kind of things that a Kennedy or a Reagan was able to say just off the cuff that would completely disarm everybody, those sorts of things were worth a certain number of points in a poll. I mean, you could literally make up, and first of all, and it made you just instantly likable, instantly less dangerous sounding. There's a whole lot of things that humor does, and that's all a function of being able to talk off the cuff. So loss of that though, but look at what Caesar has. What Caesar has that we don't have today, so this is where the parallel ends, is Caesar has an army. And so does Crassus, and so does Pompey, and so did Cinna, and so did Sulla, and so did Marius.
that he's running on, explain assassination attempts, and the mythology starts to grow in assassination attempts, and the Julius, oh crap, what is it? Caesar,
Caius Julius Caesar, yeah.
It's lair 1 year later, there on
Sorry, internet went out. I'm going to continue where I left off. Sorry about that. I don't know why my internet went out, but I do have to pee though. Hurry up. I don't need it. Oh my God. I love how I managed to fuck everything up. It's just so annoying. Ugh. Exit full screen. How do I get it up from down there? Oh my God, how stupid. This is so fucking stupid. All right. You gotta be fucking kidding me. I gotta piss and now this shit's being dickly. All right. Go up where you're supposed to be. I gotta pee. I gotta pee, damn it. Somehow this moved down there and it won't go back up. Okay. Shit, I gotta piss. Shit, I gotta piss. Shit, I gotta piss. All right. StreamYard. Just work, motherfuck you. All right, I'm gonna have it X out. What minute am I on? 109. 109. Remember that. 109. Remember that. All right. Ow, shit. YouTube. History. I was literally just watching it. I gotta pee. All right, here it is. All right, I'm gonna share my screen. Gotta watch the commercials again, probably. Share. Here we go. Where's the button? Is it working? No. Come on, motherfucker. God damn. Here we go.
You have to go kill them all, and that will take an afternoon. And the people in the center of the trapped Roman mass will know for hours what their fate is, but they still have to go through it. They don't have the Woody Allen, the military historian. It was a series called War, and he examined all these kinds of things from the beginning, and he showed how you go from essentially a bunch of cavemen fighting each other and then how it progresses from there, and it's linear. And so the Romans were one of those great stages in development, and what they did was break up the solid line of human beings that formed a phalanx. So if you fought the Greeks, when they fought the Persians and the Spartans and all that stuff, the Greeks would line up in what to the naked eye from a distance would appear to be a solid body of human beings, a giant rectangle of guys shoulder to shoulder. The problem with a group of people like that is it can't really move effectively and keep its formation. So what the Romans did was eventually, and this was a series of steps, but they started by breaking up that giant group of men into smaller, they called them maniples, which means handfuls. Manipul might be like 150 guys. But what that meant was that within this body that to the naked eye from 100 yards away looked solid are a bunch of 150 guy handful units that are capable of maneuvering by themselves. So what you've done is I think Gwen Dyer said it was articulating the phalanx, right? All of a sudden, and it's a mobility issue. So a lot of the battles that the Romans won against the Greek style warfare of Alexander with the big pikemen in those solid bodies of troops is he would get them in, the Romans would get them in bad terrain, which messed up the formation because it's a solid body of people. And then the Romans would find a little part of the ground that was all messed up, or there was some foliage, or there were some rocks, and they could get one of those small little maniples of guys and just sort of get them in that little area and then move around the flanks of that big unwieldy formation. And all of a sudden, it was like a bunch of bees that had surrounded a giant group of wildebeests, if you will, and had them just all trapped. And so it was a mobility issue more than anything else. I mean, there's a lot. A military historian would say you left out this and you left out that, but by and large, if you're a Roman commander and you're looking at the advantages you have over that, it's your ability to move.
Interesting. Just as our ability to adjust is time contingent, so too is your ability to fight.
So one is a Roman battle. It's the Battle of Cannae, where Hannibal surrounded the Roman army, supposedly 80,000 guys. It's an afternoon, right? So he's got these people surrounded within an hour or two, but you got to kill them, right? You're not just going to sit there with artillery and he has to, in a classroom, or if you were in a war game with somebody and you surrounded the enemy, everybody would just go home. It would say, okay, game over, you win, right? Right. But in the real world, just because you've surrounded them and just because there's no way out and just because you've won, you actually have to go kill them all. And that will take an afternoon. And the people in the center of the trapped Roman mass will know for hours what their fate is, but they still have to go through it. They don't have the Woody Allen luxury of not being there when it happens, right? So there was an article for Military History Magazine once that tried to imagine what it was like in the center of that group of people, what they could see, what the sensory stimulation was like. They were talking about how you wouldn't be able to see much, that the noise would be like multiple 737s right by you. The disorientation, the Roman authors say that at the center of that mass, when the Carthaginians cut their way into it, they found Romans who had simply, because you can hardly move, right? Everybody gets packed together. They say you couldn't even raise your weapons. I'm claustrophobic. That would drive me crazy. But they say they found Romans who had literally just then hunkered down where they were sitting and covered their head up with sand and just killed themselves that way because they couldn't face the prospect of what was to come. And so for me, on one level, that's the battle where I just go, okay. And plus it was hot and dusty. You would, if you're going to die, can't you die in the Pacific and Hawaii and enjoy yourself first? Right. Is all I'm saying. Then the other one is that the First World War battlefields where, you're never going to see shelling like that again. I always try to tell people, they'll say, this is as bad as World War I, fill in the blank. It was not as bad as World War I. And the reason why is we'll never have to fire that many shells to hit a target again. It was a function of the technology of the era. They had developed all these big cannons. They had developed the ability to produce millions and millions of shells. They had not developed the ability to hit a target reliably. And what that meant was you have to fire thousands or tens of thousands of shells in the hopes that you will take out what you're shooting at. Nowadays, you will hit that target on the first or second shot. You don't need to use millions of shells. What that means is the experience of drum fire, real drum fire, is nothing that anyone's ever going to experience again, because they're never going to use tens of thousands of artillery pieces firing at breakneck speed for days again.
Why drum fire? Why'd they call it that then?
Because at a certain point there are so many weapons firing so close together that the shells are landing so quickly together that you cannot differentiate one from another. It sounds like a drum roll. You cannot, it all sort of fades. And when I did the virtual reality exhibit we did on the First World War, what we tried to show was what drum fire sounded like, because it's you can hear people explain it to you. I love the way Ernst Junger, the German soldier, experienced what it's like to be under shelling like that. He described it as being tied to a pole and having somebody swing a sledgehammer at you. And then every time they swing it at your face, they just barely miss. And then they pull it back to do it again. He says, that's what being under shell fire is like. So that's the other thing. So either the claustrophobia of being in the center mass at Cannae, waiting to die, or spending a week 24/7 while they fire millions of shells that you just lose it discombobulates all your neurons. I mean, that's what battle fatigue and shell shock was.
You're in a trench.
Yeah.
With rats up to your waist and your dead buddy.
Pieces of your dead buddy. Here's a little bit of Bob. That was the old line they said as they were sending dirt to each other. Here's a little bit of Bill. Here's a little bit more Bill. I mean, you're living in that carnage. Is unbelievable. And I'm a little bit of a germaphobe too. So throw claustrophobia on one hand, germaphobe on the other. Those are my two nightmares.
What do you think of Peter Jackson's? I'm sure you saw the documentary, They Shall Not Grow Old.
Shots. And the main
You're not a child, you're a man. So stop wearing so many layers to go outside and get the bearskin tack.
Thing is that normally they're not standing near where the danger is, because who's going to.
The first is a stupid one, I think. But I want to ask you about PTSD prior to the First World War, because shell shock, back when the language still mattered, was the perfect thing, as George Carlin riffed on, right? That's what it was, and that's what caused the thing. And so, I mean, I'm sure people have been traumatized forever. But the other thing I'm wondering now, walking through a trench full of people that you just shot, bad. Back to Hannibal. You got a long afternoon of slaughtering 80,000 people, and you finally get done. Right? I mean, what's next? Is it a Budweiser? Is it a Red? Like, what do you do with 80,000 corpses?
These are things that this is embarrassing to admit, but these are the kind of things that I'm fascinated by. And the thing is this is the history detective thing that we started with to wrap this into a nice bow. But this is the detective work that a historian is going to do. He's going to say, okay, where are the bodies? So there's a book that just came out not that long ago. I wish I had the name on the tip of my tongue. 20 years ago, I would have. But it's a book about what happened to the dead people at Waterloo. Because there was a lot of dead people at Waterloo.
Yeah.
Well, apparently a lot of those people at Waterloo ended up in the equivalent of like glue factories, industrial usages for the bones. And the reason why that became an interesting sort of book to read is because you can extrapolate that if the cadavers of people killed in warfare were useful in the early 1800s for industrial usages, they probably always were. And so when you sometimes wonder where all the dead people are from these battles, there may be some recycling going on, would be a good way to put it. And so
corn tastes funny, Mom.
Yes, yeah, that's right. So but you kind of have to pick out the little bits that tell you, oh, this was going on. Well, if it was going on in that one case, I bet it was going on in others. And we did a story. It was in Death Rows of the Republic, I think, where one of the authors we were using had talked about people having tours of the battlefield afterwards. So I'm sure you've heard the Civil War stories about how at the Battle of Bull Run, the picnickers came out because they thought there was going to be something to see. And then, of course, when they were overrun, it was this nightmare. But that seems to maybe have always been the case. And so even after some of these horrific battles where you cannot physically imagine what it looked like, I've studied this my whole life. I still cannot, in my mind's eye, imagine what this would have looked like, but people would come out to see it afterwards, and they would pay money to come out and see it afterwards. If I told you that I had a battlefield where 80,000 guys had been slaughtered with Charles Manson-like weapons, would you pay to go take a walk through that? That's a dirty job of a very different caliber.
How much? I mean, that's
what are we talking about here?
Like 3 easy payments.
No, you have to make it like that sub visit to the Titanic, where it's so much money that it's a status symbol that you got to go. It'll be Bill Gates, it'll be Elon, it'll be a few other people, and they'll get to go. So that was the first part of your question. It was about the do you remember the PTSD? Okay, yes, the PTSD is fascinating. There is a book called Achilles in Vietnam that goes and tries to pull out the little references in, say, ancient Greek plays and stuff that refer to the equivalent of this. This is a long-running question. You're going to get me all excited now about these are the kind of things I regale my family with, and they cannot get away from me fast enough. But it is
coming to Thanksgiving again.
This is how hardcore history got started, man. That is actually the secret. It was trying to divert me from a horrible dinner conversation. So the question then is there a cultural, a cultural prophylactic that can defend you from getting PTSD? So, for example, one of the arguments is sort of the Native American argument, that if you build into the culture something like warriorhood is a rite of passage, that as a young man, you want to count coup, you want to get a feather to show off. In other words, when the carrots and sticks in the society reward you for this kind of behavior, does that insulate you from PTSD? Or if it violates everything you've been taught, in other words, war is a violation of all your religious principles, but we turn that off for this special thing called war, does that come back and haunt you later? There's a whole book because there's a book from every single angle on Alexander the Great you will ever find. But there is a book that suggests that much of his life that is inexplicable is explainable if you add PTSD to the occasion. And when you realize what a guy like this would have seen, it would give any of us PTSD. The question is if you were raised in a different society. I mean, I had a professor, Victor Davis Hanson, will talk about this. Like, he'll talk about how farmers made better warriors than city kids in the ancient world because you literally had to kill people by hand, and farmers killed things by hand more often. So things like that come into play when we're not shooting people from a distance the way we do now. And so the PTSD question is always sort of filtered through this lens of, well, if you killed animals every single day of your life and you've killed a bunch of people already, does it matter? You know, are you insulated from getting what a kid who'd never even seen blood, who has to go to Vietnam and shoot somebody, would feel? These are long-running questions. There are no answers, but those questions are the kind, like I said, that I regale my family with at Thanksgiving.
Well, then try this one on too. And I want to be respectful of your time. I promised Chuck I wouldn't keep you on for 2.5 hours.
That's more Chuck's problem than mine.
Chuck.
Oh dear.
But oh God, what was I going to say? I was going to ask you.
Glad it happens to you too.
Oh God, more and more and more.
Big retailers don't want you to have this zoom lens, but there's nothing they can do to stop it. So there's this new super.
What the heck was it? Oh,
I told you my Generation X website makes me feel better about that. Benefits from that. When these people push the Roman frontiers farther, they are both making themselves bravery and all these kind. And I think at a certain level, those things are very important. I think what ends up happening though, when you get to the First World War, 1914, when everybody leaves for war, more applicability, encountering a world where
500 million more videos posted per day than a year.
Made sense to start a company and sell it for some ungodly amount of money. I started a tech company with some buddies. They were in the legacy systems, go in kicking and screaming, try to defending the old way of doing things.
500 million more videos posted per day than a year ago. I mean, and you made the point earlier, you know, we start with Caesar, a guy just going for a sail to learn to be a better orator. And now we're drinking from a fire hose. You know, the mainstream media. I was just telling Chuck earlier, in May, during one 7-day primetime period on CNN, the total number of viewers between 8 and 11 in 7 days running.
Made sense to start a company and sell it for some ungodly amount of money. I started a tech company with some buddies. They were in the tech business. We got together, and the podcast grew out of that because what we were working on.
And they're dramatic.
Nobody has to be Christopher Hitchens there and say real things.
That's it. They're all performing. They're dying hard, but
right. So the tools are here, but all this was made possible in part by the very legacy systems that are dying right now because they cut back on everything. Right. So, for example, when I was a kid in the 70s, any news outlet worth its salt is going to have bureaus all over the world. Right. It was like the systems you have to get food. The listeners may not know this. Heat. I used to come off the radio and get hammered by the consultants and the program director because I wasn't generating enough heat. Anyway, but that has nothing to do, one, really, with the truth at ground zero of the story, and two, YouTube clips. So I understand.
Jagged little pills, these guys who dabble in some level of reportage, who now have a new weapon, far more powerful than a prompter.
It's a quantity one. So for example, when I got into radio in the early 90s, outdo each other and stand out from the other Joe Pines, you know. So I think there's a dynamic here where you can say, hey, we've always had this, but we haven't history, because what the hell other choice do you have? So I love that story, and I love the way you presented it.
Thank you.
Assured it's going to be some interesting comments. Sell beer, and I can't.
Sitting there looking into a lens with their
realized war, where the sky was literally going to be is if you were raised in a different society. I mean, I had a professor, Victor Davis, without endangering their own life. But there's footage, for example, Well, what's the old Woody Allen line? He doesn't mind dying. He just doesn't want to be there when it happens.
It's over. It's just over. You make the point so well in Blueprint for Armageddon, which, by the way, you guys have to listen to. It's so good, but no better example. Maybe the Civil War, but like when you talk about tactics,
those people to the beliefs of the West and the ideas and the point of view and the news stories and everything else. And both the Soviet Union and the United States were so worried about things like this that they worked very hard to try to keep those signals from their people because of the destabilization that could cause. Okay, well, look where we are now. Forget one signal going across the Iron Curtain. Everybody's on message boards with each other now. We have troll farms that are run by intelligence agencies of nation states that are communicating with our citizens through the comments after news stories that people. So in other words, something that was considered so dangerous, you had to have all kinds of countermeasures in place to keep the Radio Free Europe signal from impacting and destroying and undermining your civilization. What we do today is 9 bazillion times worse than that. But what it can do is the same. That's the part we've forgotten. We've lost the fact that if one radio signal can completely destroy a civilization that can no longer control the message to its people, we're way past the control the message to its people standpoint. In other words, the better way to put it is we have an analog legacy system that we're stuck with, nation states, in a digital reality. Can the analog system change itself enough to operate in this digital reality? And if it somehow can, and the odds are not good, but if it can, the problem is going to be that 10 years from now, that digital reality is going to be unrecognizable from the digital reality today. And so even if you can one time or two time, this is a Star Trek thing too, evolve to deal with it, you have to continually evolve, and you have to continually evolve at an ever increasing speed. There, I got it out.
I'm thinking of the Maxim gun.
Which means that
nobody believed me at first, but now everyone wants one.
Okay, so I was actually looking for the part where he said back in the day, the kings and the royal families used to pull their families out, and they had a part of their house that was called the Hall of Fame, and they had like all their ancestors on it, and they showed what their ancestors did in their bloodline. Like uncle was like a war hero, grandpa was an inventor. Here in these many, he conquered, the elites. They were like, the president of France, the president of Rome, whatever. And they had all these conquests and stuff. And so when an offspring came, they wanted to live up to the reputation of their family line. And so it was called the Hall of Fame. Well, this is a long way back if you watch the beginning part of this video, and the reason why I kept replaying it, because people can't really connect the things. That's why I always try to speed it up. But I was saying that nowadays what we got going on is stuff that should be in the Hall of Shame, because, the elites, instead of trying to live up to the bravery of their ancestors, you got things like that governor who, what did Sam Tripoli said? He said, what a big snake ball this is. So I was trying to juxtapose those two sayings. I wanted to snap it. I wanted to clip shot it, snap it, and put them up to each other to hold the contrast, to show you, and for we can all have a moment to ponder about how, you got the governor having sex with minors, getting in a compromising position. How shameful is that? And these are our elite rulers. And that, that's a what, and then the guy said, what a horrible ball of snakes this is. I could pull it up faster on my phone. But it looks tacky to be holding my phone up. So, and I couldn't find where Dan Carlin actually said it. I skipped through the video. We got a lot of good parts in there. So it's not like we missed out on anything. But I just wanted, that was what really clung in my head and had me ponder it for a while, was when this part.
I'm gonna piano. Oh, baby.
So I'm trying to juxtapose.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to juxtapose.
Middle East. Yeah. That Matt Gates' dad, because he's a dark artist, finds out about. Somehow they approach his dad. They want his dad to put up the money. Put up the money because they know his son is compromised. Yeah, and because the Russian oligarch thing fell through, where they were going to pay. Got it. It's so crazy. What a ball of fucking snakes that is. Right?
So I wanted to juxtapose what a ball of fucking snakes that is to Dan Carlin's quote where he said, the whole
to go was stuff where the fighting wasn't going on of wildebeest, if you will. You're going to end up with problems. And here's the thing: and
we know they're reading. The ability to connect, I think, was the question. And he said, events, dear boy, events. I don't have a crystal ball. And whatever it is I think I'm going to do is probably going to fail miserably for reasons that I simply can't tell you. You know, we talked about it, Chuck, a few years ago, prior to COVID. How do you have a conversation prior to COVID, not contemplating?
Determine how you think of Caesar, good or bad. It
responsibility and delayed gratification and all of that Horatio Alger stuff that you grew up with too. And
dad stuff is what we call that.
Dad stuff. Yes. That's what it. So suddenly I think not really because I've much changed, but events around me changed, and the things that we'd been talking about pretty consistently for 16 years, for whatever reason, became objectionable or problematic, and I got looped into a group of right-wing nut jobs, and so be it.
It's happened to the best of us, my friend. And I found myself labeled as a member of the intellectual dark web, and I had to go look. I had to go look and see what that was. Can you be a member of a group you don't even know exists?
Well, look, once you look for it, now, of course, you've left some awful digital footprint through the virtual cosmos.
No doubt.
Now the proof is the very fact that you went looking for yourself.
That's right. So there you go. I'm labeled in, but I get it. And look, I don't even know how to explain standing up for other people that haven't done it. It reminds me a little of like the 50s,
all of which seems to be designed.
Then even with all the differences, and they are myriad number of differences, right? You look at it and you
always push him.
The Macedonians of Alexander would have job. What are you talking about here? Radiant. Hey there.
That's why I have to be a better note taker, because literally, he said that back in the day, the kings used to parade their children up and down these hallways to show their, they were proud of their bloodline and their heritage, and they used to instill that in their children. And it was the Hall of Fame versus the Hall of Shame. So that's a difference between the elites back then and the elites now, who are just a perverted bunch of masses. There's really no nobility. There's really no nobility amongst the noble. And all right, so let's move on to the next topic, because I'm sure I've went over that one plenty. All right, so X out of that. Sorry, sometimes I zone off. I hope I wasn't gone long. All right, subscriptions. Hi.
So like 3 months later, Mark, I get this call from the church. From the film secretary. And she's frantic. Bart, do you know what they were talking about before you U-turned and went back to get your valuable microphone, in their house? I'm like, I don't know what. She says, they're talking about calling the CIA to have you killed. I'm like, yeah, that's funny. Just no, Bart. They're talking about calling the CIA to have you killed. And I'm like, yeah.
All right, that guy's got something weird on there. All right, that's dumb. All right, let's go on to what I was thinking. So my notifications were totally bogus. X off of that. Oh, am I still muted? Oh, I was like that whole speech. All right, playlist. Watch later. Okay, I can finally remove that one. All right, playlist. Oh shit. That's me. That's me. All right, let's go down here. At least I know my audio is good now. All right, what was I trying to look at this day? Let's look.
Yeah. You will.
You know, not only do they not communicate with each other, but they don't even see the world in the remotest way together. I mean, they don't see the world in any way, shape, or form the same as the other side does. That is new, okay? That's recent. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, people voted differently, but they understood the other side's position. They were familiar with what the other side believed. We're not even going to have that anymore.
Yeah.
So it's not encouraging. And to be honest with you, I'm just kind of wondering, like, does democracy even have a future as we understood it? I think we're rapidly advancing towards a post-democratic world. And the concerning thing about that, again, is that, you know, the work that I do, the work that you do, the work that a lot of people do, really kind of relies on a free and open conversation that differing opinions, different viewpoints, different ways of looking at the world are not prohibited like they are in very many countries in this world. So I don't know how that's going to play out, but this is another reason. I mean, all these kind of things that I've been talking about really add a sense of urgency for me to start to construct, I call it a refuge, you know, a refuge for people who don't fit into all the different boxes that you're allowed to fit into, and people who you know, want to expand their experience. Quite frankly, I mean, just like have a broader experience. And in order to have a broader experience in life and in the world, you have to have a more, what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, you basically have to have a broader set of data points to draw on, if that makes sense. I mean, you need to. I mean, you know, for instance, the work that I do. So people look at, say, you know, for example, the nonsense that went on during the Olympics this past summer, and sort of draw particular conclusions to it. Well, I saw all this basically religious symbolism that I've been looking at, that I've been studying for quite some time. And I was able to go to people and say, well, listen, no, this means this means this. You know, it isn't all just Satanism, you know, it's this and this. And to me, it's much more dangerous than Satanism. Not the least which is because people don't even recognize it, that they don't even understand that it exists. You know, people understand that Satanism exists, right? So when you can say something exists and you can sort of put a tag on it, and you can name it and claim it, and you can sort of see where it is and know who the players are and know what they think and all that kind of thing, then you can kind of get a handle on it. When it's something that's completely out of your reality, completely out of your field of knowledge, these very weird and completely esoteric belief systems that are actually quite ancient and are still practiced, people just don't see it. I mean, one of the things that I do find interesting is that people are starting to talk about Mithras. Yeah, I've been talking about Mithras since 2007 on the blog. So it's kind of finally sinking in. It only took almost 20 years for people to understand that all the symbolism, a lot of the symbolism that they're seeing is Mithraic. I know that Sam, when it was on Joe Rogan, you know, he kind of name dropped me, which I was really kind of thrilled about. And, you know, talked about Mithras and the Statue of Liberty and everything like that. So again, I mean, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm sort of taking this roundabout, circuitous voyage to basically, you know, I'm trying to tell you all these kind of things that are going to affect the conduct of the work that I try to do. And one of the reasons I try to do this work is I want people to understand what they're really looking at when they start to see all these insane rituals and so on and so forth. I want people to really understand what these people think, what it means, where it comes from, what it implies, where it's going, all these kind of things. Because if they just look at these, for instance, again, the Olympics and say, oh, that's Satanism, they're completely missing the point. And it's much easier to manipulate people who not only don't understand what they're looking at, but completely misinterpret what they're looking at. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, it dazzles people and riles them up, and it takes the very symbolism they're supposed to sit with and contemplate the true meaning of, and it, gives them like a cheap reaction to it, which is, oh, that's evil, oh, that's Satanism. When you take a step back, and I think, our audience, especially your audience, is way beyond the point of needing this explanation. But these are very sophisticated and nuanced esoteric beliefs that take time to fully understand, and it's not as simple as, oh, the big bad boogeyman Satan is mind controlling certain groups of people to do evil things. And unfortunately, a lot of conspiracy theory gets reduced down to that, at least the parapolitical angles and where the religious occult aspects come into play, which, you can't even begin to introduce that to someone who has been brainwashed by the left, because then they automatically call you, satanic panic or whatever other pejorative, oh, you must be a flat earther too, if you believe in these satanic death cults and all this other stuff, right? So they just immediately reduce it themselves through the conditioning they've been programmed on. But what I find...
Well, that's what I just want to just interject for a second. I mean, basically what they're doing is they're creating a false dialectic that they can control.
Right.
And they can control exactly what you said. They can control people because they've been programmed to respond in certain ways on either side of an issue. Right. So it's like, I can't believe, I'm getting around to it, but I'm going to do something. I don't know if it's going to be a live stream or a book or something, kind of just debunking this whole idea of the satanic panic. And what do I mean by that? I don't mean that there was this sort of reaction to Satanism in certain circles. What I mean by that is that there wasn't an unjustified reaction, okay? That there was satanic crime. There was a lot of satanic crime, particularly in the 70s. A lot of serial killers were influenced by a lot of this kind of satanic stuff in the media. It was everywhere. It was in movies, comic books, music, television. Satanic stuff was all over the culture. So when I say I'm debunking the satanic panic, I'm not debunking the fact that certain people reacted in a certain way to Satanism, or that a lot of people overreacted. What I'm saying is that they didn't react without justification. That's what I'm saying.
And because evil things do happen, and evil people rely on these smoke screens, scapegoats, and this false dialectic that, it's incredible, because you try to have a conversation like I did this past week with somebody who is indoctrinated to all this, and it'll make you feel like you're indoctrinated. It was stupefying, because I'm so used to talking to people in my own personal echo chamber. Whether that's true or not, it still left me sort of disabled or disarmed to really have a conversation with them. And luckily, I'm a podcast host, so I can send them some conversations I've already had that might point them in a better direction, which I did. And this person happens to be really open-minded. God bless them. But it was funny, like the argument that we had. And, the same person thinks about astrology signs with some reality, but then at the same time you point out that maybe these constellations have more significance in our culture than just the blurbs were given in the back of a newspaper, right? Like, I actually think this might be a good choppy, albeit segue to get into your book of Revelations, where you sort of break down the Lyra and Vega, or I'm sorry, yeah, the Lyra, Cygnus, and Vega constellations, and how they have this overarching influence on a lot of the events that make their way patternistically through these stories you tell on your blog, which again, I think people should have this post open while we're talking about this, because it's some really deep stuff. But it came up recently on the show about how much the constellations affect our reality, whether you're a flat earther or not, because this guest happened to be a flat earther, I believe. They spoke to, well, if our model of the universe,
musical stylings of Mr. Ryan Celsius, as always. If you've been around here, that's our fave. So he will be right up.
Been relocated
to save the woman he loves.
I need to speak to Miss Gonzalez alone.
You have no authorization.
Last 14 days, 3 people have died.
Musical stylings of Mr.
I'm gonna download it
on June 2nd.
You know what? And I actually would just like to say, I hate to take one.
Give me that. Give me that scrimp.
Give me that scrimp. You know what I'm saying?
Give me that scrimp.
Oh, 79 Smith and
yeah, fucking legit. I'm subscribed to that channel too.
Hey, everyone always talks about how big a horse dick is. How big is a horse pussy?
Huge.
Fucking
huge. Yo. And just so you guys know, this is like a thing in German techno, this room, I guess. I don't know exactly what it means, but a lot of them do in the same thing. They do the thing, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
They do the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, very simple, very. Yes, we're about to get to very, very good, very simple. We're about to do the thing.
I'm subbed to that channel.
Welcome to WEBT motherfucking 303 AM. The beat. So disappointed right now.
I get it.
Hey, shut your fucking mouth, bitch. No, not good. No. Yeah, no. Trash. Trash.
Play Led Zeppelin.
Fucking trash, dude. Come on. That build up and it was absolute trash.
Fucking chinks every time.
Way too long. Absolute trash, but let's let it run.
Nah. I'm a crazy guy. But shake my head. Shake my head. Shake my head. Shake my head.
No.
Oh my god. I press buttons. I'm shake my head. I'm shake my head. Yeah. She can DJ. Hell yeah. Horse girl. Fuck yeah. Go. That's DJ3.
Yo, let me see your dick. Let me see your dick. Let me see your dick. Let me see your dick.
That's Tim's wife. That's Tim's wife. Fuck yeah. Horse girl. Fuck yeah. What a fucking queen.
I don't know. I don't know the music playing.
Dude, Horse Girl, I had that saved. Fuck yeah.
Horse Girl is fire. Straight fire.
Horse Girl is a fucking genius. Hell yeah. Let's go, Horse Girl.
Let's fucking go.
Horse Girl is a fucking legend.
Wait, what's that, Mr. Pie? Do you have something to say, sir?
I was just kind of rapping with the beat. Horse girl, ride her, ride the horse girl. Get the beat, big man, hands all night.
Damn, damn boy.
Wait a minute, let me see your dick. 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 Let me see your dick.
I wish I could play. I wish I could play. I wish I could play. I wish I could play this while we were listening to that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I could make that happen, but I'm not. I'm not trying to do that right now. But
come on, keep going. I was trying to find my Coca-Cola.
Why the fuck am I backstage this whole time, you dumb niggers?
I thought you were sleeping,
Why the fuck
dude.
would you backstage me like that?
Hey, look,
Fucking
like, if
stupid nigger.
Hey, hold on. Like,
You
let's
stupid
look.
methed up fucking faggot. Why would you backstage me like that?
Let's
Yo,
look back.
Tin.
Go
Let's
fuck
look
yourself.
back.
You put
Hey,
up,
hold
you
up,
bring up
hold
fucking
up,
Mr.
hold up.
Pie, that fucking airhead fucking tar, and you backstage me. The fuck is that?
No,
Then you
hold
sit
up,
here and
hold
start
up, hold
fucking
up,
trash.
hold up,
Wait.
hold up. Let me put myself here on the mainstream is what I'm gonna say. Let me put myself up here in the mainstream. Now, there's two individuals here on the interwebs that I think are probably the most, and I'm not gay. Like, let me just preface this statement before I say this. They're the two most attractive male individuals that I know on the interwebs would be Mr. Pie and Ancient Ways, Modern Graves, aka Toilet Bowl Earth. These guys probably are the most attractive men that I've seen on the interwebs. And I just want to say I'm not gay, but that's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Let me add you guys back here to the stage after I said that, but you know what I'm saying? What the fuck is this guy talking about? I don't know. What's up, Toilet Bowl, or what up, dog? I took
Why
you
the
out.
fuck did you backstage me, dickhead?
Yo, dude, you got mad.
Fuck
hold-
you. Fuck
hold
you,
up.
nigger.
How's
Hold
your
up.
fever,
You
bro?
fucking nigger. You bounced me out of the party for what?
No,
Fucking
because
nigs. You guys want to
because-
suck each
hey,
other's
yo,
dicks?
hey, motherfucker.
Is that what it is?
Hey, shut your fucking mouth,
Fags. I
bitch.
wasn't even saying
Hey,
anything.
Hey, motherfucker, shut your fucking mouth, bitch.
I wasn't even saying shit.
Hey.
You guys are sucking each other's dicks the
Hey.
whole time.
Hey,
But you got to kick me out because you want to suck each
Hey.
other's dicks. I get it.
hey, shut your fucking mouth, bitch.
Fucking fags.
You know what? You know, last time you got mad because I played your shit when you was snoring and shit. I thought you passed the fuck out. I kept you on here.
Oh, you want me to chimp out like you guys?
No. Yeah. No,
Like
I
some
do.
dumb niggers. And
I
then like
actually-
Mr. Pie and his fucking liquidated fucking brain coming up on here. Oh, guys, I'm gonna rap on the beat. Fucking kill yourselves, man. Fucking kill yourself.
I mean, do you not find this man attractive or not?
Fucking kill yourself, dude.
You don't find this man attractive, Mr.
What?
Toilet Boy?
What, bro?
Yo, Tin.
Kill yourself.
Show yourself, Toilet Bowl Earth. Come fight me with.
I thought you were sick, dude. I was giving you the benefit of the doubt. I was like,
I am
dropping
fucking
you
sick. What the fuck does that matter? You backstage me for what?
because I
For this-
didn't want
Fuck
you to be embarrassed if you were snoring and shit, dog. Damn, dog. Shit. you're my day one nigga. Shit.
Y'all some nigs,
Fuck
man.
you.
If I wanted
know
to fucking leave, I would have just fucking left, nig.
I didn't make you leave, dude.
If I didn't want to be snoring on your stream, I would have just fucking left, nig.
You were still up in the stream,
Not
dog.
that hard. I'm a big boy. I can handle it.
We can we can orgy it.
Oh, okay.
Shut
I'm
up,
sorry.
nigga. Ain't nobody
No,
fucking
hold up,
talking.
hold
you
up,
faggot.
hold up. I did just look at the private stream. Wow, this
You're a
guy is.
faggot. You're a faggot. Shut the fuck up.
No, hold on, guys.
Fucking nigs.
No, hold on. We're gonna.
Hey guys, we're gonna listen to some techno together and suck each other's dicks.
Hold on, guys.
We're gonna
Hold
suck
on.
each other's dicks.
Hold on.
Backstage 10 because I don't want them. I don't want them to see us suck each other's dicks. That's Ken's wife. Man.
Hold on. We're gonna have to address some of these things going on here in the back in the private chat here. It's funny because the private chat is only populated by two people, 6079 Smith and Toilet Bowl Earth. But Toilet Bowl Earth goes heads and says at 5:28 a.m. he says, "Why the fuck am I backstage, you whole bitch?" I believe that message was directly intended for me. He also said at 5:28 a.m. he says, "Bitch ass Adderall nigger." I believe that's also targeted directly towards me. At 5:27 a.m. he says, "Y'all some homos." I believe that's also directed directly at the people on the panel. 5:27 a.m. he says, "Hey, you dumb, methed up nigger." I believe that's directed specifically at me. 5:26 a.m. he says, "Hello," all caps, 3 question marks. 5:26 a.m. he says, "Shut the fuck up, niggers." 5:25 a.m. he says, "You backstage me and put up Mr. Fag on." 5:25 a.m. he says, "Fag niggers." 5:20.
You know, it's a private chat for a reason, but okay, read them out loud.
Well, it's not kind of.
Okay.
No, it's like a.
Okay.
It's a private chat.
Don't
but
read
not
private
really.
things out loud. Don't
If
share
you're-
private things.
If you want to do a private thing, you would send it to me on a DM. You know. then
Yeah,
I
you would have never seen it otherwise.
You know, I could be making that all up though. You don't know if I'm actually reading that. You just revealed. You just played your hand, dude.
No, I
You
don't.
just played your hand, you dumb nigger. You dumb methed up nigger. Yeah, I said it. You dumb methed up nigger. You just played your
we
hand.
gotta get kick 10 out of here so we can be gay homos for techno.
I
Let's
didn't
get kick 10 out of
kick
here.
you, faggot. I didn't kick you, faggot. You're still here. I thought you were sleeping, but let's fucking go. Do you not like Horse Girl? Horse Girl is fucking dope. No? If you don't like it, then fucking share something. Because welcome to WEBT motherfucking 303 AM, the motherfucking beast, nigger.
Oh, I'm Toy Boy Earth. I'm gonna cry some more because I'm jealous because EBT likes me better. Woo!
Oh, oof, oof. Well, you know what? I don't know if that's true or not. You might be more attractive to me personally, but I mean that's I mean, I guess it's a tie. I mean, TB is kind of attractive, man. But I'm not gay. So, wow. The stream got really gay, folks. I can't even find the thing where I present the screen. Yeah, there we go. Are we, I mean, like, are we again? Do we not like Horse Girl? Hello. Hello.
What?
What? You don't you're not a fan of Horse Girl or what? What's the deal?
I'm watching it.
No, okay. Then let's fucking go.
No, yeah, let's end it together. Let's go.
Shut up, fag.
Now we kind of totally killed the vibe. All right, like what's the thing here?
You killed my vibe, nigger.
Who?
You killed the vibe.
Who? Me?
Stick your dick in a fucking wall, dude.
Yo, Tin, chill yourself.
Fuck you, nigger.
Horse
Fuck
Girl.
you too.
Fuck you. Horse Girl is the fucking best. Everyone loves Horse Girl. Kill yourself. Nigger. Kill yourself. Horse Girl. Go. Go, 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 go. Let's go. Cow. Horse Girl is the best. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. That's V3. 10. That's V3. While you're having sex. That's what she thinks about. Think about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So now that you're here, TV again, what do you have?
Sorry, Tin.
Did you
That
want
was a
to
joke.
Yeah.
But
So what else did I have? Yeah, I'm sure that everybody got around to everything before I did. I was cutting edge, but time I go live stream, everything that I thought about showing is already. All right. Remove. What was something I had on there that I removed because it took too long? Oh yeah, it was all that other stuff. Oh, okay. Now I'm just going to let's go look at what my subscriptions. What's new in my subscription? Oh, they smell so good. I have like perfumes hidden all around my car. And sometimes when they heat up, when I turn on the heater, sometimes I don't even know where they're coming from. It's just beautiful smells. Beautiful smells. All right. Let's see what this guy says.
It said write in, and I wrote in Jesus. So I literally voted for Jesus one time.
So I went in there and voted for Jesus. I marked it in the right hand to worship his name and his number. And those who hold the testimony of Jesus Christ are the 666 beastmen. And Jesus warns you, and in times there will be many teaching that he is the Christ. And that's exactly what y'all are doing when Jesus taught that we are all Christ. Jesus taught that we're all the sons of God, not just this one man brought to you by so-called Moses or this so-called Jewish religion, so-called begotten son religions that he called out in John 3. That's why he tells you in John 16:23 that you shall not ask in that day. You haven't found that day yet. You don't know the Father's in you and the Father's in I am the Father and all these other things. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Heaven is in you. You live in hell. So sorry, folks. There's so much you got to get caught up on because you're left behind.
It said write in, and I wrote in Jesus. So I literally voted for
Okay. Let's see. Let's see who's a good one. Oh, that guy posts a lot. Holy shit. This is a pretty good one.
And hopefully this is a joke, but with all the jokes, there is a little bit of truth. And since he is ahead of the government coming up, and you have a czar putting in a czar, and that's the Doge, the e-god backwards. And the dawn is the Lord, and that's the second coming on the backside. So he's showing his colors and his light. And as he shines his light in one way, the nation is divided and goes through a spiritual earthquake within the body, and they have to go this way, that way, or the other way. So the millennial reign is basically when the people that were born in the millennial generation come into power positions, and they come in and change stuff through the laws and governments. And then you go into a whole new year of 1,000 years of Satan, if it's really 1,000 years, because you're under that so-called 1,000 years now, because the whole world is under the spell of Satan and under the lie and all these other things, which is the brainwashing. So you would be going from one lie to another lie, and this would be where the aliens would be coming in, where the image given life has already programmed you into thinking that the God is light, these light beings are aliens. So this is where everything works within itself, but because Satan rules the physical that we live in, so that's the negative charge, and you got to have that negative charge to move forward. So that's kind of like that spanking on the butt in a way, or the prod on the lamb, those types of things. But that's also that's a whole nother rabbit trail. So we're going from one rule structure to another rule structure, and in order to do that, all the invisible, so-called, has to be exposed, and the expose comes with that exposition. That's before you know, and that ex precedent, and what's your vice, and all those things are going to be coming up into our world. So the millennial reign is not 1,000 years like the church teaches. Okay, it's just a time where you have this seventh day that's been gathered up and marked in the right hand and worshiped his name and number and all these things, and the buying, selling, and tracking and all these things that's been going on since 1950s or before. And so this is all coming to a head. And when you count the days, 24 years back, you go back to the 1800s and such, so that accounts perfect to this time frame where we see the Industrial Revolution and the cars and all this stuff coming out. And then the basically the petro era, the petro globalist empire, that would be coming to a head and being taken into Texas, in a matter of speaking. And it may seem great at first, and whatever they got planned to get you down there, and then it peters out. Okay, and that peters out because there's a new so-called church being started, or a new Satan or Christ or whatever that would be developed, that we can see where Peter was calling Jesus the Christ. And then today, those who hold the testimony of Jesus Christ are the beastmen in one aspect. So because it's all about gathering this by Bel nation, the by Bel, the Bel worship, going into imprisonment and your cell, the buy and sell, where you're throwing men into cages and this kind of shit. Okay, so no reason to throw people up in cages.
Like a lake of fire, like it was just like consumed everything, and I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna die. And I closed my eyes, and like as I closed my eyes, like I started feeling everything shaking, like everything was getting burned up. And then all of a sudden I open my eye, or open my eyes, and then like I look outside and I look at it's all the grass is like all green and stuff, and it looked like I was in heaven. So in that dream, it was like the sun exploded and just like consumed the earth, and then I opened my eyes and I'm in heaven. So I went from like heaven, or so I was like on earth in the dream, and then I went to heaven after the fucking sun exploded and shit. And it talks about how the fire is going to destroy the world and it's going to be recreated, and then there's just going to be like this new world and new heaven. It's like all the bad people are just going to get thrown in hell after the sun fucking explodes. So they're going to be so it's going to be like this big war. I defeat everybody, like make them submit, and then they're all going to get judged. And then the sun's going to come along and it's going to send all the good people to heaven, and it's going to fucking just burn all the fucking bad people to death on earth. And then they're just going to go to fucking hell. Yeah. And that's the fucking truth, because I saw that shit in my fucking dreams. And I'm God, and I was reading the Bible, and I read about the lake of fire, and then I was reading these posts online where this guy was saying the same shit. He was saying some weird, like, crazy shit about how like Lucifer planted a fucking black hole bomb in the sun. It's gonna explode, and like all this shit. And like I was like, what the fuck is this dude talking about? But he was literally saying like the same shit I saw in my dreams. Like he was like on point. Like he was like, oh, the sun's gonna explode, and it's gonna cause this wave, plasma, blah blah blah, whatever, some shit is gonna consume the earth. And then it's gonna be like recreated, and I was like, "This is like literally." That was the first. Like I typed in the lake of the earth destroyed by fire in the Bible, and the first thing I read in this Reddit post is some dude talking about Lucifer exploding the sun, and then all this shit. It's like that's what I'm gonna do. Is I'm gonna blow up the fucking sun, and it's gonna consume the earth, and you're just all the like. It was just like I literally just like opened my eyes, and it was like I was in heaven. It was like, but it didn't feel like I got burned up. It was just like. It's like all the light just kind of like changed everything, and just like it was like magical, you know. It was like magical. It was like this magical experience. Absolutely, and to see the sun explode into all this crazy shit, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And I just closed my eyes. I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna die. And then it was just fucking open my eyes and boom, I'm in heaven. Like, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, it's like people they don't believe me. People they don't believe me, but they're just gonna get fucking burned by the fucking sun when it fucking explodes because they're a bunch of fucking losers, or they're gonna get fucking killed by a bunch of fucking soldiers before they even get the chance. Is there something about like people are gonna be resurrected and judged, or something like? I don't even fucking know. It's just like, bro, like the sun's gonna explode. The sun's gonna explode, burn everything. After this big fucking war, and I come back and then me and Haley, we return to the fucking world together. You know what I'm saying? Like we just appear to the world. We're like, oh, I'm here, and this is my wife. And then we have this big ass fucking war. We defeat all the bad people, make them submit, and then I judge them all. Then the sun fucking explodes and fucking incinerates all of them. Yeah. Yeah, it's some crazy shit. And so you go look at the sun right now, and you're just like, oh, there's just a big fucking shiny thing in the fucking sky. No, that's a big shiny thing in the sky that's gonna explode and send all the good people to heaven and all the bad people to hell. And it's gonna just like change everything magically. It's like this big magical fucking light fucking gas, whatever the fuck it like. It's just people. There's like, oh, it's a star, and all these fucking normal shit. It's like, bro, this shit's like literally like magical. It's about to just like change everything. Like just seeing it explode, like in that dream, and like how it looked, it was like it's just like created by God. It's like a heavenly fucking thing. It's just like it's like something from like another dimension or something, you know. And then it just fucking seeing it explode and stuff, and I'm thinking about all those black holes and shit. It's like it's a really powerful creation created by God that's gonna fucking incinerate the entire fucking world. And yeah, you know, maybe my wives should fucking come here and love me instead of deal with this fucking war all on their own without me. And then stick around to get incinerated by the sun. They don't get raped and tortured by these soldiers. They're going to stick around and get fucking incinerated by the sun. And then go to hell because they don't want to fucking be with me.
gone. Hold me one last time, take me back home. Kneel down before me and claim your throne crown. 'Cause this night ends in dawn with both of us gone. But life seemed connected, even though we less mad. You light up this festering bit of regrets. So offer it one time while the night is still young. When this night ends in dawn, with both of us gone. With both of us gone. With both of us gone. Then let us ride out when both kiss the sun. Let's both kiss the sun. Let's both kiss the sun. If we do this together, what gladly burn down? With both of us gone, with both of us gone. Let's ride out and both kiss the sun. Let's both kiss the sun. Let's both kiss the sun. If we do this together, what gladly burn down to the ground. To the ground. To the ground. I love you forever, and I gladly burn down to the ground. One big cloud of ashes, we float upon the air. Wherever it may take us, I don't know. I don't care. I'd rather catch this moment to this place in time, instead of lingering on alone. I love you forever, and I gladly burn down.
One more time, just because it's a goodie.
This night ends in dawn, with both of us gone. Hold me one last time, take me back home. Kneel down before me and claim your throne crown. 'Cause this night ends in dawn, with both of us gone. But life seemed connected, even though we're less mad. You light up this festering bit of regrets. So offer it one time while the night is still young. When this night ends in dawn, with both of us gone. With both of us gone. With both of us gone. Then let us ride out when both kiss the sun. Let's both kiss the sun. Let's both kiss the sun. If we do this together, what gladly burn down? With both of us gone, with both of us gone. Let's ride out and both kiss the sun. Let's both kiss the sun. Let's both kiss the sun. If we do this together, what gladly burn down to the ground. To the ground. To the ground. I love you forever, and I gladly burn down to
It's
the ground.
one big cloud of ashes. We float upon the air. Wherever it may take us, I don't know. I don't care. I'd rather catch this moment to this place in time instead of lingering on alone. I